Okay, so this guy is called the Boss Killer, and the reason he is called the Boss Killer is because it's what he does. He is an assassin, and what he is going to be able to do is use all his ridiculous sneak modifiers to kill any creature in the game in one hit, providing he gets the jump on them. Okay, some quite important traits of this guy. Sneak is obviously the most important thing. Also, one-handed is definitely incredibly important, because that will allow you to use the daggers that give you the 15 times modifier, which can be doubled with another item. That will mean that when you do wield them, with this guy, you can do about 6,000 damage, which is an insane amount. In terms of secondary qualities, you can choose marksmanship, because, again, that will allow you to take out 1 or 2 people before you're actually up in your face in combat. Also, illusion magic is quite important. Now, I would say in terms of marksman or illusion, choose one or other, not both. Okay? Reason for this is that illusion is going to make you more of a pure assassin, in that you are going to be investing a lot more in magicka instead of health. So your real big advantage is the fact that you won't have to kill very many people except for the bosses. However, if you go for marksman, you're going to invest more in health, because you're going to get one shot, everyone's going to start rushing towards you, you might get another couple, and then you're going to find yourself in the sword fight, and you're going to have to slug it out. And in terms of perks, I would say invest most of them in those 3. You can take a bit of lockpicking and pickpocketing as well if you really want. In terms of attributes, I would say always invest in stamina. High stamina will help you because it will allow you to skirmish and get out of situations quickly. In terms of your health and magicka, like I said, it depends whether you take illusion or marksmanship. Also note that light armor is quite important with this guy. Okay, so some useful races to take for these guys. I would say you have about 3 good races. You have the Wood Elf, the Khajiit, and the Argonian. The Wood Elf is for more of a marksman player. This is what this guy is. And you will be able to do a lot of damage with your bow, but the counter of that is that you are going to find yourself in a lot more sword fights. With the Khajiit and the Argonian, you're looking at a quite similar build, maybe with a little bit to maneuver. You're looking much more at a pure assassin, okay, who's only really good for killing that last guy, that final guy, that important guy. In terms of other races, I would say avoid, because there are no other races that have anywhere near as good an aptitude in the stealth area as these 3 races. Okay, so some weaknesses with these guys. Well, there's really only 2, and those are getting surrounded, and also when you don't get the jump on the boss. When you get surrounded, you are going to face some real problems. Now, this is because you aren't going to be able to use your skills as effectively, because again, like with the Buzz player, okay, you're not going to be able to see all your enemies, okay? You're going to be firing ahead, and then you're going to get hit from behind, and that's not something that you never really want to happen to you. Easy ways to remedy this are, if you're a marksman, basically running into a point where you are ahead of everyone or behind everyone, and then taking out your swords, and because you have a bit more health, you should be able to at least give it a good go in close combat. If you are a pure assassin, however, basically the only way out is to go into sneak mode, become invisible, or become muffled, and then just sort of either run away or sneak away. It's really your choice. If you're taking on a boss, that is your other big problem, because although you have the power to kill a boss, if you accidentally run into him, he's going to notice you. So your only real way of killing a boss in this instance is, again, just to run away, because bosses will kill you quite quickly if you let them actually sort of slog it out with you. Your one other weakness is also dragons. Not so much when you're taking them on in the actual main quests, because often you have other people helping you there, and you can just, fire your bow or whatever, or become invisible, sneak up behind the dragon, and then actually stab it in the back. I mean more of the random generated dragons. Now, they're going to be a problem, because you aren't going to have the opportunity to sneak up on them. They are going to know where you are, and if you become invisible, they will still know where you are for a little while. If you are a marksman, they're still going to start pummeling you with magic, and the net result is you're going to take a lot of damage. So my advice here is make sure you have a lot of potions when you're just traveling. Okay, so here are some useful tactics that you should employ with the boss killer build. The first one is room surveying. When you go into a room, make sure first of all you don't just walk into the center happy as Larry. Make sure you're always in sneak mode. Just walk in through the doorway, you know, just not too far, have a look around, see who's there, and then identify the weakest target and take him out first. If you're going for the pure assassin build, then when you go into a room, identify where people walk, which way they're looking, and then choose your route in a way that you won't get noticed. Another good plan is when you're actually doing your attacks in the first place, particularly if they're majoritively on the outside, okay, so not actually in a dungeon, I would say take them on at night. This is because obviously you're much harder to detect at night, and you blend in more. Even if you're in a dungeon, be aware that some dungeons have sort of ceilings that sort of have holes in them, so the light will get through. If you're attacking at night, then obviously that won't happen. General rule of these guys is just, again, not to get cornered, because then you can't run away, and of course not to get surrounded. Okay, so that concludes the boss killer build.